Welcome back to Kin in Line. I think this is about part 170. My wife went away for a couple of weeks to the UK for our son's graduation in Liverpool. So I was left kind of worrying about her traveling and all the other anxieties of the world. And so I ended up kind of whiling away some time doing these drawings that I'm about to show you. So the first two I colored just because I had the watercolors out doing something else, and yeah, maybe I should have colored the rest, but here they are anyway. You'll probably be able to read a whole lot of psychological things into this, but here we go. So there's an aeroplane actually, which probably was subliminally included. Here we've got a little figure flying through the air. Yeah. So the rest, they just speak for themselves, I guess. Note the little ship on the horizon there. This distortion of the human figure, I don't know where that comes from, but it's become part of what I do these days. Well, I suppose I've done this actually from the earliest. I suppose this owes a bit to Picasso and all those early Cubist painters who used musical instruments to such good effect. I think this must have come into my mind when they introduced the new monkeypox scam. Yeah, I have to think of Klaus Schwab and co. whenever I see distorted figures like this, because they're all for manipulating human beings, brains, bodies, everything. Yeah. And that's us in the boat as the WEF, UN, etc. look on with sharpened teeth. So then I ventured out into a slightly larger format, A4, and for some reason this guy's only got one eye, but that's probably for a reason. I'm not sure what it is. His tail has become his neck. Here I used just soft pencil. I even signed it. Must have been weakening. Okay, we're going to skip over these colored ones there for later. I then got out some felt-tipped pens, and I quite enjoy doing this, where you put a few together in your hand and you just let it rip. You'll all generally find some sort of figurative thing emerging, and in fact, as I go along, I'd sort of expand, become more and more figurative. So these earlier ones, you'll see I'm not as loose and sort of scratching really. These are more just sort of abstract compositions. And I find the double lines can be quite disturbing on the eye, sort of like, am I seeing a blurred image? So that's a real morass. A couple of little faces in there, silhouetted. Now I started to become figurative, and I think they work better as as I get some more direction. This, the female figure, I think, is quite nicely suggested. Now I'm going to hop and skip across, because this is where I think I really kicked into a good vibe. These figures, I think, work quite well. And there's a stuttered shot. This guy, angry. So then I ran out of space, so I'm going to just move those aside and we look at this pile. So here it's actually all about the line quality. And, you know, when you're drawing fluently, and here I've used two pencils together, when you're drawing fluently, things start to work. And the line looks good. This actually reminds me of old Jack Lugg. Something about his face. We've got one of my creatures. It's our hardy doors, just glad to see me back. What was this, a kind of a landscape? Not the greatest. Okay, so we got these big coloured, I took watercolours to I've had some success down the years by just getting out the watercolour box and going abstract. Inevitably a little face emerges, such as that. I don't know really what this composition tells us. But I would like to see these beautifully framed, you know, inexpensive, big framing. So here the figures creep in again. And, yeah, this is actually a meeting of the WEF. That's her class there in the middle. That I think could be Trudeau and little Macron here. And then, sorry, struggling to separate these globalists. So this is quite an interesting painting. Yeah, dogs of war, of information war. And finally, a little bit naughty, I guess. Yeah, look at that wide grin there. So the moral of the story is, don't leave me alone too long, because then I go dizzy. And I end up looking like this poor guy. Anyway, till next time when I've produced a bit more art, I still need to go through all my paintings and stuff that are stashed away in various nooks and crannies. I'm going to put them all out and just do a quick video of them. But till then, cheers.